Hi, I'm designer Jen Gallacher, and welcome to the Crop and Create Delivered Summer 2015 video series. In this series, we're going to create 3 different layouts using sketches and the elements included in the Heat Wave kit. To start with, I wanted to show you what you could do by using a clear sheet. Now this is like a transparency, it's more like vinyl, it's very thick, and this is from Bella Boulevard. We're actually going to create the page on the top of this clear element. And what you want to do is when you place it inside your albums, you're going to want to put a sheet behind it. So you may want to put in like a sheet of cardstock and say there is page design on the other side. If there's nothing poking through on the other side, you could easily put this in. Or you could use just a plain sheet of any color of cardstock and slip it in behind. But today I just wanted to show you how to build on a clear page. Now again, remember, because once it's in the album, you're not going to see what's on the back side as long as you put another page inside. That's how you treat a clear page. To start with, we're going to use some of this Bella Boulevard green diagonally striped pattern paper. On one side it has the stars, and we're going to concentrate kind of on more of the tone-on-tone patterns because I want to keep the page a little bit more subtle. To the bottom, we're going to add 2 different kinds of borders. I'm also using some adhesive from Scrapbook Adhesives. They're one of our generous sponsors, and we appreciate them sending us lots of great adhesives. But you can see here at the bottom, the first border I'm going to start with is a scallop border, and it is also diagonally striped pattern paper, and it is also from Bella Boulevard. So make sure we get enough adhesive to catch that. And then to the bottom of that, we're going to add some additional adhesive, and we're going to take some of the white lace ribbon from the collection, and all we want to do is make sure that some of it peeks out from behind that strip of paper. So I'm just going to kind of tap it right into the adhesive. So you can turn it over and you can see it's just kind of a peekaboo effect, and you can adjust the placement of the ribbon as you desire. So I'm going to straighten it out just a little bit. But one way to create texture on your page is do a bunch of layers. Now we'll add the entire piece to our page. We're going to do it kind of on the lower 2/3. And we want to try and get it straight. You'll notice that this particular paper has a fun kind of label shape to it. So I'm trying to make sure that I have the same distance between each piece. On top of that, we're going to place some of this text paper. It is from Pebbles, but I'm going to use this beautiful blue kind of teal polka dots. And you can see that when we choose elements for the kit, we very carefully try to get things that coordinate and match. So it makes creating very easy. And we're just going to place this right on top. It is the same width. It is 4 inches tall. Behind that, we're going to take 2 tags. We're going to take the 2 yellow tags from the kit. One of them I've already tied with the ribbon. The other one we'll go ahead and do that. And then, because I don't want it to be too bulky on my page, I'm only going to tie a single knot. And then I'll cut off the pieces. Depending on how you cut your knot, or rather create your knot, depending on what side you want to see, you can turn over the tags and use them however you like. So if you like the solid ribbon, go ahead and use that. We'll peel up those papers a little bit. Stick one a little higher than the other. And then the next piece I'm going to add is another tag. This is from the Jelly Bean Soup Ephemera pack, the Peapod pack. And I just want to bring in one more tag. I always try and get elements of 3s. Now you can see at the very top here that it has a teeny tiny little hole, and to that I'm going to place one of the butterfly pins. And how I do it is I usually pierce through the top of the element and then slide it down, but it didn't come through the back. It takes some practice, but I'm trying not to poke it through the back so that when I work on it, it doesn't create any problems. All right, now let's talk about the main elements on the page. We're going to use a couple of different 3x4 journaling cards. Now I love the yellow on this side, so we're actually going to use the yellow. You'll see me bring in a lot of different yellow elements for this page. And I still want some of my blue polka dot poking through. Then I'm going to take the Rain, Rain, Go Away, and I'm going to trim off some of that rounded corner using a paper trimmer. We want to make sure you can cut some of the letters off, but not all of it. You just want to make sure you can still read it, but I did make sure that I eliminated the rounded corners. We'll go ahead and attach this so that some of the yellow is peeking out on the side. You can see I'm kind of bringing in the yellow around the page. And then I'm realizing I want another yellow element. So let's go ahead and peel this carefully back up. If you move quickly, you can do this. I'm going to take some of the yellow cardstock and we'll add a little bit of yellow right across this bottom edge. I think it needs a little more yellow. So I'm cutting a little triangle from the bottom. And then we can adhere this to the very bottom of the blue polka dot strip. You just want to make sure that the same amount sticks off both sides. And then we can add our 3x4 cards right back on. That just brings in that yellow a little bit brighter, which I like. To the left, I'm going to add a photo that is 4 inches tall, and I'm going to cover the rounded corners on the other side of this Rain, Rain, Go Away card. And you can trim your photos to fit what you're doing, or you can print them in a certain way so that you can make them work for you. But again, the polka dot paper is 4 inches tall, the photo is 4 inches tall, and of course the 3x4 journaling cards are also 4 inches tall, which makes it kind of fun when you're adding it to your page. To the top, we're going to create a rather long title, and we're going to combine a couple of different things. This is one of the cut files that's included in the kit. I cut it from the bright yellow cardstock included in the kit. I'm going to use a glue pen to add it to my page. I'm just going to take a leftover piece of white cardstock, and I just paint on the adhesive. You could also run it through a Xyron machine, whatever works for you. But this is a great cut file, and you can manipulate the size of the file. This is actually the size that it came in. So I left the cut as big as it appeared when I first opened it. But of course, with the Silhouette machine, you can manipulate it as much as you want. So we'll place that there. I want to manipulate it a little bit. And then to increase the size of the title and make the phrase make a little more sense, I think I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. And then I'm going to add a die cut from Jelly Bean Soup from their Peapod Parts package. And to the back, you can see I've added 3 little foam squares to give it some height. And we'll go ahead and place this at the top of that 3x4 card. We want to make sure it's centered across the title. So it says, Summer Sunshine, Rain, Rain, Go Away, Come Again Another Day. So that's a really long title that you can include on your page. I've pre-printed my journaling on some white cardstock, and we're going to stamp into this particular piece. And what I'm going to do is I have from the stamps an acrylic block that I've placed the stamp on, and we're going to be using this little phrase that says, I love summer. I'm using Daffodil Delight ink from Stampin' Up. It's a kind of a bright yellow ink. Kind of goes with what we're using. And using the lines on the clear acrylic block, we just want to make sure that we get that stamped. And it adds a little bit of yellow. I love the look of combining text with stamps. So these phrase stamps, we have a lot of different options, including the calendar months. You could do the Salt, Sand, Sea, I Love Summer, Fun in the Sun, or even Sunshine. Now let's go ahead and add this to our layout. You don't want to smudge the ink until it is dry, or rather when it's dry, it won't smudge. So we want to make sure that it's dry, and we'll add it to the very bottom of the photo. We'll kind of tuck it behind a little bit and make sure that you can still see the I Love Summer. And it is going to cover up some of the scallops at the bottom, and that's perfectly okay. Now to further dress up the page, I'm going to take one of the umbrellas from the ephemera pack, the Peapod parts, and we'll add it here. Make sure that you can still read the phrase. And then I just adore these little sunglasses, and because we're in Hawaii, I think it's appropriate to have some sunglasses. To attach these items, I am going to use some glue dots, and because that blue is so dark that when I place the glue dots behind it, you can't see it. So a lot of clear elements here. And then I think it needs some additional yellow, so I'm going to add some yellow dots right to my photo, just to bring the eye there. And then we'll add a few over here as well. So I've added a few here at the bottom. So this is how you can create a layout on a clear element. It looks really beautiful, and it's a fun way to incorporate clear items into your scrapbooking layouts. Be sure to watch for the additional videos that correspond with the Summer 2015 Crop and Create Delivered Kit. And take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our tutorial videos.